The boy was too short to see the blackboard, so he leaned forward and told the girl in front of him, "All I see is you." Annie was stunned. Realizing what he just said, Kevin quickly covered his mouth in embarrassment. Kevin thought about killing Annie every day because he wanted to see how beautiful she'd look after death and keep her by his side forever. But every time Annie so much as looked at him, he'd get super flustered, and when she didn't look at him, he'd get mad. So during lunch break, Kevin decided to head to the library to work on his murder plan. But when he opened the door, he found Annie already sitting inside. Kevin panicked and walked stiffly into the library.
Huh? あ、はい、そうっすね。
He didn't quite catch what Annie was saying, but figured this might be the perfect chance to kill her. Then he looked at her adorable face again and decided he should probably observe a bit longer. Just then, Annie pulled out a huge bag of chips and started eating. Kevin froze. He wasn't expecting her to have such an appetite. He thought maybe he was imagining it, but the usually cold and aloof Annie was now munching away and singing to herself. That scene completely shattered Kevin's idealized image of the school beauty. And then, Annie suddenly took out a sheet of paper and started doing calligraphy homework. She didn't even bother drafting at first, just started writing. Sure enough, before she could finish, she ran out of space on the paper. Thinking fast, she decided to cut the sheet with an art knife, but then realized she didn't have one. Kevin instantly ducked behind a shelf, because, unfortunately, he had an art knife in his pocket, the same one he was planning to use as a murder weapon. He panicked. What if lending her the knife made her realize he was a total psycho? Just then, Kevin heard the sound of paper being torn. He walked over to Annie and handed her the knife. Annie smiled and thanked him cheerfully. Kevin turned red and immediately hid behind a bookshelf.